Welcome back to In the Huddle. Coming up in 7 minutes, we'll take a look at the Virginia Tech Hokies' current 2012 recruiting class. But first, we saw five-star Chris Black here on CSS back in October. First time he touched the ball, you guessed it, he scored, leading First Coast to a big win over Yulee. Next season, the number 2 wide receiver in the nation will be playing for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jessica Blaylock has more.
Buccaneers, Johnson slips as he drops back to pass, going for Black. Chris Black has it for the touchdown.
When it comes to high school football in Jacksonville, the name Chris Black is well known.
Once he gets his hands on the ball, he's electrifying. He brings excitement. He brings the whole package of a football player. He's an outstanding young man, and he's a guy that when he's on the football field, you got to know where he's at all times.
The First Coast High School wide receiver has been making big plays for the Buccaneers for a few years now, but despite that fact, he still has the ability to surprise his coaches with his athleticism.
He's a fun guy to watch. There's a lot of times we sit on the sideline board and say, did he just do what he just did? And it's amazing some of the catches he's made.
At 5'11" and 170 pounds, Black is a smaller receiver, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in speed, ability, and a strong work ethic.
Chris is one of the top receivers in the nation, and you don't get that just by showing up. It's hard work. It's staying after practice. It's staying in the off season. It's going to camps. It's doing all the little intangibles that make you who you are, and Chris deserves it.
In addition to all of his other accomplishments, including being ranked as the 3rd best wide receiver in the state of Florida, Chris Black has been selected to play in the 2012 Under Armour All-America game.
So many other players, I played in this game and, went on and played in the National Football League. That's one of my goals, playing this game and, going to college football and, do great in college football and, hopefully possibly make it to the NFL.
And speaking of college football, Black will head to Alabama next year to play for Nick Saban, who is well known for his discipline and getting the most out of his players. And according to Black, that's exactly why he wanted to sign with the Crimson Tide.
That's what I like, somebody, working hard. But I know at the end of the day, I'm just going to only get better. They produce a lot of great players out of Alabama.
But before he heads to Tuscaloosa, Black has a few things left that he'd like to accomplish, including winning a state title with First Coast.
Since being here in 9th grade, that was always one of my goals, to win the state championship. I think we have a definite chance of doing that this year.
For CSS, I'm Jessica Blaylock.
All right, thank you, Jessica. We saw Chris Black firsthand. Who do you compare him to at the next level?
I actually liken him to Marquise Mates, who's currently at Alabama, and I think he could step in and fill that role. Kind of a slack guy who can return kicks, do some things with the ball in his hands after the catch. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's exciting, he's electric, and I think he brings those same sort of traits that Marquise Mates does to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other top wide receivers in the South committed to